live our own lives. Our life here in this village is good. Let us be happy and give thanks to God for this day. Far down along the village's stone wall, beside the wide-open rusty gate, 16-year-old Holla shuffled impatiently, his musket propped against the wall. "I want to hear the stories too," he complained to Tete, who stood guard with him. "And I want a fistful of that goat meat before the good part's all gone." "You've heard those same stories every year for the last 5 years," said Tete, who was 2 years older and half a head taller. "But every year the griots have more tasty bits to tell us," Holla insisted. "Besides, every one of the last 5 years I've had to stand guard, even though no one's ever tried to do us harm. So what would it hurt for you and me to take turns at the gate tonight? I'll go and listen to the stories for a while, then I'll come back and you can go and listen." Tete shrugged. "We should not disobey our elders. But if you're not gone too long, I suppose—" Holla was out of sight before Tete could finish. But even as Holla slid noiselessly in behind a clutch of other young men, the last storyteller finished weaving his tale, and the drums pounded out, "Durbar! Celebrate!" Mamamuko, full of wisdom and years, stood up and danced her way over to the fire. Safia, with her gentle ways and the look of sleep forever on her eyes, got up and joined Mama, clapping her hands and shuffling in time to the drums. Amma, who had only recently come to the village with her 2 brothers, followed. Then, one by one, other women shuffled up and joined in the growing dance line. "Come on, Grace," Mama called out. But Grace, grinning self-consciously, hugged little Kwate to herself and shook her head. She was glad to have an excuse to stay out of the dance. She enjoyed watching, but the fact was, even after 5 years, she didn't understand African dances. Whenever she tried to participate, she looked every bit as awkward and out of place as she felt. "There is no African in your hands or feet, Grace," her mother used to tell her. "They are all English." Evidently her mother was right. Tornia, who was almost 12, leapt to her feet and pranced towards the end of the line, but Mama caught the girl by the shoulder and gave her a gentle shove back. "Child, you are not yet a woman," Mama scolded. Yet as Tornia stomped away, Mama chuckled. The men sat together in small groups and watched the women dance. Suddenly, Kabetto jumped up. As Grace tossed back her auburn-splashed raven hair and laughed out loud, and little Kwate clapped his plump hands, Kabetto waved his arms and danced with an awkward, limping gait towards another group of men who'd just helped themselves to roasted goat meat. He tore the shirt off his back and threw it down in front of an older man with greying hair and a sturdy, round face. "You, Tuke," Kabetto called, his handsome face glowing in the firelight. "Will you be brave enough to dance?" Tuke jumped to his feet. His arms flying wildly, he kept right on chewing as he danced over to a group of young men and threw his shirt down in front of them. Kabetto roared with laughter, and everyone else joined in as Holla, the youngest of them all, answered the challenge. He jumped up, tore off his shirt, and danced more outrageously than anyone. "Dance, Holla!" Tornia yelled, and everyone else took up the chant. Tete, alone at the gate, struggled to see what was going on. Why was everyone calling Holla's name? Tete had to admit that Holla was right when he said that standing guard was the same as doing nothing at all. There had never been a threat to the village. Maybe Tete would also go and watch the celebration, just for a few minutes, perhaps. When the dancing finally stopped, Chief Ikem, his walking stick grasped tightly in his wizened arm, stepped forward. He stood directly in front of the fire. Shadows of dancing flames reflected on his midnight black face. They seemed to bring to life the intricate tattoos etched across his forehead.